ain't gonna lie. I don't know too much about the IPL, bruh. I don't know too much about the IPL, bruh, so I gotta learn. How did IPL's genius business model make it a money machine for India? IPL business case study, man. You know.
The IPL is one of the richest sports properties in the world.
The Indian Premier League has just sold its TV cricket rights for a staggering $2.6 billion.
You heard it right. Star India has bagged this huge deal with
Wait.
Has just sold its TV cricket rights for a staggering $2.6 billion.
You heard it right. Star India has bagged this huge deal with 16,347 crore rupees.
Hi everybody. The Indian Premier League is by far one of the most remarkable achievements in the Indian sports industry. But while most of us only know it as the iconic summertime sports sensation, very few of us know about the business intricacies of IPL that makes it a capitalistic miracle for the economy of India. And the most astonishing thing about IPL is that even during the pandemic, while most of the companies were incurring heavy losses, in 2020 season, in spite of the ticket sales hitting rock bottom due to COVID, in spite of Vivo retracting from its title sponsorship, BCCI's revenue from IPL shot up by almost 100%, going from 2,200 crores in 2019 to 4,000 crores in 2020 season. And today, the brand value of IPL stands at an insane mark.
That was $5 billion? What the fuck?
Of $4.7 billion, which is almost 35,900 crores. And if you compare the broadcasting rights of IPL at the world level, as of 2020, while NBA stood at $2.1 million per match, Bundesliga stood at $3.9 million per match, whereas the Indian Premier League stood way ahead at $8.5 million per match. So the question is, with so much of money flooding into the IPL ecosystem, how...
Okay, 8.5 million per match?
How does this ecosystem of Indian Premier League work?
Wow,
How do IPL teams make money in spite of losing the competition? And most importantly, as students of business, what are the study materials that can help you understand this billion-dollar global sports industry? This video is brought to you by Kuku FM, but more on this at the end of the video. This is a story that dates back to 2007, and this year was very, very special in the history of Indian cricket. Why? Because Yuvraj Singh had just mesmerized us with 6 balls and 6 sixes moment, and the Indian cricket team had just won the T20 World Cup. And the very next year itself, the 2008 recession happened, because of which businesses all across the world started incurring heavy losses. And like we saw in the ABG Shipyard episode, the 2008 crisis costed the global economy close to $2 trillion.
Damn!
But amidst all of this chaos, BCCI and Lalit Modi spotted some critical market indicators that made the market extremely conducive for a domestic cricketing league in India. Number 1. Because India had won the T20 World Cup, Indians had fallen in love with the new T20 format. Number 2. Since this game lasts only...
So when did dang, what was the question? Dang, when did oh my gosh, I forgot the question I was gonna ask. I just had it. Bro, fuck it.
3 hours.
No, I remember. When did T20 become like an actual thing? Like when it was actually like a what is it, a format? Like an actual format? When did it become like an actual format? Cause I thought it been a format already. You know what I'm saying?
You can easily watch the entire game, unlike an ODI which lasts for 8 hours, or Test cricket that goes on for 5 long days. And lastly, during the summers, Indian audience, especially the kids, desperately needed something for entertainment because they were on summer vacations. And they also observed that the league games were always a big hit all across the world, which eventually drew both great revenues and a passionate audience. Classic examples of the same being the Premier League in England, which gave us Manchester United, and the NBA Championship in the US, which gave rise to some of the richest players in the world like Shaq and Michael Jordan. Therefore, BCCI wanted to build a similar product for Indian teams in India. And this is how
it became a format around 2005 approximately, but it wasn't taken seriously before the 2007 World Cup. First T20 World Cup was held in 2027 in South Africa. It was played in 2004 when it was first played. For 2004 when I was first born.
The idea of the Indian Premier League came to life. And little did you know that in the next 10 years, this venture will go on to become one of the biggest sensations in sports history. So the question is, how does this business model of IPL function? Well, let's try to understand the ecosystem of IPL very clearly. The first set of stakeholders who actually bring the game to life are organizers and administrators. In this case, IPL's organizers until 2021 was a company called IMG or International Management Group, and the administrator is still the Board of Cricket of Control in India, which is known as BCCI. Then after these two, we have the third stakeholder, which are the leagues, which in this case is IPL. So IPL is practically a BCCI asset. Then we have the fourth and the fifth type of stakeholders who are the franchise who participate in the league and the home stadiums that provide the venue for these franchises.
Bro, I have to see the venues. I ain't gonna lie, that's another thing, bro. I gotta see the venues for the T20 World. I think it's the T20 World Cup venues, but it ain't got nothing to do with the IPL. But I think they have this video that I seen in my recommended. It's like the top, or like maybe it's all of the venues for the T20 World Cup. I still gotta react to that.
Play the game.
I ain't
These
gonna lie, I wanna
franchises
see.
are nothing but your teams
I
like
wanna
Chennai
see.
Super Kings, Mumbai Indians, and the rest. Then the franchisees rope in the sixth type of stakeholders who are the players. And as we already know, the player selection process happens through an auction. Now, whenever these teams play in the stadiums, the gate revenue is shared between the home team, away team, and the stadium. Then we come to the most influential and the most cash-rich stakeholders in the ecosystem, who are the streaming platforms and the broadcasters of the Indian Premier League. And the reason why they are so powerful is because they help the leagues and the players get directly in contact with the lifeblood of the game, who are the fans. And the members of the stakeholder group includes Hotstar for streaming and Sony or Setmax for broadcasting. And finally, we have the most important stakeholders of IPL, who are the fans who watch the game for entertainment. Now, based on the number of fans and the demography of the fan base, we have the 10th type of stakeholders, which are sponsors. And as we all know, these are the companies that actually want to leverage the viewership of IPL to give visibility to their product or services. Now, initially, fans are just viewers, but as the number of fans and the attachment with the game or the franchise increases, this industry attracts a secondary stakeholder, which are merchandise maker. This is where the franchise owners can actually decide whether to license the brand and take a portion of the sales, or to set up an in-house merchandise department to sell products directly to the fans. Apart from that, we also have fantasy games like Dream 11 that actually use the game to build a business around the fans of the games. I'll get into the business model of Dream 11 in the upcoming episode, but for now,
Dream
from
11?
that, we also have fantasy games like Dream 11 department to sell products directly to the fans. Apart from that, we also have fantasy games like Dream 11 that actually use the game to build a business around the fans of the games. I'll get into the business model of Dream 11 in the upcoming episode, but for now, all you need to know is that these are the primary and the secondary stakeholders.
So wait. Oh, it got banned? It's like a star, but it's banned now? Oh, shit. Oh, okay. I'm like,
the
what is
Indian
that?
Premier League. And this brings me to the most important part of the episode, and that is the economics of IPL. Now let's start with the first stakeholder. Since BCCI is the administrator of the league, BCCI uses the league as an asset and sells media and digital rights for the IPL to broadcasters and streaming platforms. These broadcasters in turn sell ad spaces to brands which wish to get visibility for their products or services. So if you saw during the 10-year period of 2008 to 2017, Sony owned the broadcasting rights to IPL and it bought the broadcasting rights to BCCI for 911 crores per year. Then Sony gave away its ad spaces to sponsors who pay to show ads between the matches.
Wait, crores. That's millions, right? Oh shit. And it's 911 million? I think that's what it is, right? Gotta be million, right, per year. I mean, I feel like that make more sense, right? 911 million per year. What is it? What?
These IPL ad spaces command a huge price and fall somewhere around 15 to 18 lakhs for every 10 seconds. And this is where we saw the commercials of Dream 11, Nimbus, Pepsi, and so on.
Let's do our own fantasy league during the IPL this year. One crore equals 10 million.
And so forth. So Sony's revenue is equal to the number of ad slots sold multiplied by the amount paid per ad slot minus the cost of the broadcasting rights. Then, once the expenses are factored in, we'll get the profits generated by the broadcasting partner. And similar is the equation of the streaming partner
$8 million?
also. So initially, when the league is not at all popular, the broadcaster has to take a very big bet, and selling the ad slots in the initial stages is very, very difficult. But as the popularity of the league increases, the broadcaster keeps on increasing the price of the ad slots, by which these broadcasters and streaming platforms make an enormous profit. And the value of IPL has increased by such an insane rate that when the deal with Sony expired, Star Network paid 3,270 crore each year for the next 5 years for the exact same broadcasting rights. And this makes it a total of 16,350 crores. That's a crazy growth of 258%.
Yeah,
now, this money that is obtained through the sale of these rights is then distributed between the franchise and the BCCI. Earlier, franchise were entitled to a more than 50% media rights money, but with time, the franchise share has now come down.
So was the IPL always 10 teams? Was it always 10 teams, or was it like was it more teams or something like that, or was it just always 10 teams ever since this shit was it came into, like, you know what I'm saying, like a league? It was always 10 teams? Okay, it was 8 teams, okay.
More than 50% media rights money, but with time, the franchise share has now come down. As of 2021, BCCI kept 50% of the money while the franchise distributed the remaining 50% among themselves. And in this also, around 45% of the money is distributed equally among the teams, while the remaining 5% is distributed on the basis of the team's performance in the season. This is the economic relationship between BCCI, the franchise, the broadcasters, the streaming service, and the advertisers. And now we come to the individual team partners. This is where we have a company like Aircel. We come to the individual
Samsung, TCL. I said Jayo, Dakin. I don't know what those are. I know what TCL and Samsung is.
Team
those
partners. This is where we have a company like Aircel that did not air commercials but just placed its logo on the Chennai Super Kings jersey. These are called the individual team sponsors. And these companies do not just pay money to appear on the jerseys, but can also use the intellectual properties of the franchises like the players' images or using the logos of the teams in their advertisement. Now, out of the revenue that the franchise generates, all franchise must pay a 20% cut to BCCI each year as a fee.
Wait, so how much is BCCI worth? Bro, hold on, wait. Nah, it gotta be a video on BCCI. Cause hold on, bro. Hold on. So they're the what is it? The administrator, and then so yeah, bro. Like they gotta be up, bro. Like what the fuck? Yeah, I figured, cause bro, I ain't gonna lie, them boys making money.
Then used to organize matches, pay associations, and for other organizational purposes. Now, this individual sponsorship is a very, very big deal because based on the fan following and the viewership of the team matches, the individual sponsors may choose to pay more or less to these franchise. For example, if you look at the fan base of all the franchise in the IPL, as of 2021, CSK have emerged as the strongest franchise with 26.8 million fans.
That is
followed
insane,
by Mumbai Indians
bro.
at 24.8 million fans, then by RCB million fans. CSK have emerged as the strongest franchise with 26.8 million fans.
I'm pretty sure this has grown a lot more, huh? I'm pretty sure, because this is 3 years ago. Damn, 3 years ago? Damn. 26. This was 3 years ago. I imagine what it is now.
Mumbai Indians at 24.8 million fans, then by RCB with 13.3 million fans. These three franchises combined accounted for 75% of the total fan base in India, while the remaining 5 teams combined contribute to the balance of 25%. So obviously, according to the success of each team in the tournament, and more importantly, based on the fan following of the players in the team, the brand value of teams itself varies very, very vastly. This is the reason why, while CSK and MI command a brand value of $79.5 million and $76 million respectively, the not so popular teams like Rajasthan Royals have a brand value of just $34.4 million. This is how the ecosystem of IPL works, and as a result of this capitalistic miracle, in 2015 alone, the Indian Premier League contributed to 11,500 crores to the GDP of India. And this IPL is just a glimpse of the fast-growing domestic Indian sports industry. And in the next
thing is, we are trophyless for 17 years, but still, RCB is currently most popular.
Next 10 years, it is expected that these Indian leagues might go on to become some of the most valuable leagues in the world. And this brings me to the most important part of the episode, and that are the study materials to help you dig deeper into this billion-dollar sports industry. Before we move on, I want to thank our partners Kuku FM for supporting our content. People, if you want to know more about the business of cricket, then I would highly recommend you to listen to the Indian Paisa League show on Kuku FM. Kuku FM is India's leading audiobook platform with over 1000 plus hours of content library with 4.5 plus rating and a huge library of heft of India, which the first 1,000 people sounds useful. First, and the business behind rise of different team franchise all across the world, and you must try to understand the business behind sports. For this, I would highly recommend a YouTube channel called Athletic Interest, and this channel covers the business of the sports industry very, very well. Secondly, if you're a sports enthusiast and if you want to understand the intricacies of how a sports franchise works, you must watch this documentary called The Last Dance on
I think
Netflix.
that's in his video.
And lastly, if you find time, do learn something fun. Bye bye.
Well, okay, that just gave me like a brief little rundown. All right. They just gave me like a brief little rundown of how to with the IPL, you know what I'm saying, make money. Okay, that makes sense. I gotta find one about the BCCI though, cause it gotta be some type of video on them. That's what I needed to do next. I ain't gonna lie to you, but that was a good video though. I appreciate you, my boy. Simple. Appreciate you, bro.